The She EO Mindset is brought to you by
Hill & Company 12 Event Design.
You are now tuned into the She EO Mindset, bringing you trending topics that will engage you to level up in your business while equipping you to maximize your business opportunities and empower you to boldly step into your business brand and be more visible. This is the She EO Mindset. A CEO is bold, optimistic, vibrant, and successful, leaving a legacy, spreading money-making vibes with a wealth mindset to match her grind. She dreams big. CEOs have no limitations, and when obstacles come, they knock them down gracious. Choosing her own path, a CEO never lowers her aim for someone else's gain. She's wise in her steps. CEOs move in silence, breaking barriers, running businesses, securing the bag, making investments, creating perfect credit. Now that's the She EO Mindset.
Welcome to the She EO Mindset. I'm Nicole Gates, your brandologist.
And I'm Katrina Kimball, your wellness consultant.
And each week, as always, we come to you to bring you trending topics that will engage, equip, and empower you to level up in your business and step out boldly in your brand. And Katrina,
yes,
this is the topic you asked for.
Yes.
So I decided, okay, since you put me on blast last time about these colors of our brands and our logos. You didn't put me on blast, but I thought it was a good topic. You know, we talked about this a little bit. But I think people need to know what those colors mean. I think we pick colors based on our favorite, you know, that's my favorite color, but do you know why?
And does it complement your business? I think that's another thing that's important is when branding and picking colors, that it's got to be able to complement all across the board, from your website to your business cards to whether you're going to be doing recordings, your videos. You want to make sure your colors are complementing your brand and that they're also projecting what you want your company to look like.
Absolutely. But as usual, we start with our weekly wind down. So what are we drinking today? We have
a crisp light wine that I really love. It's got a hint of lime in it. It has a little bit of melon in it. And for the summertime when it's so hot, I don't know about anybody else, I like light, refreshing drinks.
Absolutely.
And I find for me, I really like having a nice white wine at the end of the day. It just seems to kind of give me a chance to reflect and write down in my journal, because I'm a writer. I like to write down at the end of the day. In our previous episode, we talked about put it down. We talked about you got to track your day and then track your dollar. And that's what I try to do at the end of the day. I ask myself, where did I invest my energy? Where did I invest my time? And did I make any money that day? And it always helps to have a nice glass of wine to help you to process that. Because some days I see zeros. You know, and I mean, honestly, as business owners, you do want to always have days when you have something that you can track and put down. But sometimes it doesn't always show up in a money amount. Sometimes
so you drink the wine just to soothe yourself?
But also it helps you in building relationships. Sometimes when we're tracking our activity, a lot of times we put so much on the dollar amount. But sometimes, did you build a good relationship? Did you have an opportunity to build a new client? Do you have an opportunity to build the things you can track? Yeah, so that's the thing I think is real important as business owners, is that we don't always get so caught up on always tracking the dollar bill, but what am I doing that day? And so a nice crisp wine at the end of the day always seems to help.
Well, what I love is that you brought Kendall Jackson.
Yeah.
Kendall Jackson can be bought in pretty much any store.
Yeah.
You know, this sells wine. And you have a Sauvignon Blanc, which I absolutely, I'm going to say I love it because I really love cooking. I cook with wine, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all this all the time. Like white wines, I do cook with a lot of white wine. Red wine sometimes, you know, but white wine definitely. Have you ever done this, though? Thanksgiving, I'm going to give y'all a tip before Thanksgiving gets here. Marinate your turkey.
Absolutely.
In wine.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just a little tip. You know, you heard it from me. And you talk about herbs all the time, you know, like using herbs for flavor.
I do love using herbs for flavors, because one of the things I think that's always important too, as a woman in business, you also want to be mindful of what you're putting in your body.
Absolutely.
Because if you want your business to be well, you have to be well. And so to me, I do try to lean more towards using fresh herbs, especially during the summertime. You can have a simple herb garden in your window, use rosemary, use thyme, use basil, use those herbs to complement your food, but also those are also good herbs that you can use for your body.
And you can use some, wine and marinate even vegetables.
Absolutely. You can marinate vegetables.
And,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, especially with summer coming.
And everybody wants to grill. You can always marinate your meat and your vegetables right before you put them on the grill. If you marinate them overnight, that'll really help enhance the flavor when you cook the food the next day.
And eat by color, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is that the rule of thumb?
Yes, that's the rule.
We want
More
to
color.
eat by color. So make sure your plate is colorful, and we want to eat by color. But speaking of colors,
which goes into what we're talking about today.
Oh my gosh, today we are talking about the color of your brand. Color my brand. When we're thinking about starting a business, a lot of times, we already have in mind what we want our logo to look like. Sometimes we have the colors, but a lot of times I find people struggle with the colors more so than what that logo should look like.
Yeah.
Right?
And a lot of times we tend to go to colors that we prefer, that we are our favorite. And what you have to ask yourself is, does that color complement my brand?
Right.
Does this color speak to what I want my business to look like? And sometimes, unfortunately, it doesn't. I mean, we all have seen people's logos. We all have seen people's website, and we'll look at the color and go,
and cringe like, oh my God, what is that? But your brand colors, it's said that your brand colors really kind of represent the personality of your business. So we really want to look at that. So if and I always use the example of an event planner because I was an event planner. So, when you look at an event planner, you want fun and festive, I would think colors, right? You don't want anything drab because that's not the type of events that you plan out, right?
Yeah.
But, even with you being in wellness, there are certain colors that kind of advocate for wellness and health and different things like that. So when we come back, I really want to just kind of break down a lot of the colors. And look at what they mean. There is actually what we call a color code. So you can kind of coordinate that with what you do, whatever industry you're in.
Yeah.
We want to look at that. I think it's important.
Absolutely.
I think people should really be aware of this very early on. So when you're starting a business, really look at and be able to explain why you have the colors that you do, right?
Yeah.
So, I do travel.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say you have a travel business too.
And so when I see people's travel cards or logos that have turquoise in it, already I'm thinking the water, that crystal clear water, right? It kind of puts me in the mood of I want to go there. I want to be by the sand, and I want to see this beautiful water, that kind of thing. So when you're handing out the card, or people see your logo, what do they feel? What do they see?
Yeah, and that also works in hand when you're going out working with different clients too. What clients are you drawn to? What type of businesses are you drawn to? So as we continue this conversation around coloring your brand, we're going to dive into this conversation and talk about, what is it that you really want your colors to say about you and your company? So we invite you to come back and join us for the She EO Mindset.
Royalty Wellness Spa is committed to providing you with a quality service in an intimate and friendly environment. They offer anti-aging medical treatments that improve the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, fill lips, voluminize cheeks, and improve deep folds. They also offer treatments that can improve energy, decrease fat, and improve hair, skin, and nails. Call 901-779-2385. The Fruition Complex is a community of forward-thinking creatives and professionals who share a common goal of owning and operating a successful business. The Fruition Complex offers its members access to a collaborative work environment, invaluable networking opportunities, and a list of business development services. Call today, 901-779-2385. Align Therapy is a full-service community-based rehabilitation clinic specializing in manual therapy. They provide a more personalized experience for their clients. Align Therapy's goal is to help their patients become their best selves. Call 901-877-2244.
Every color elicits a different response from humans. Colors can be divided into two main categories, warm and cool. Warm colors tend to be associated with energy, while cool colors are linked with calmness and security. But how do each of the following colors affect us? And what does that mean for your brand? Here's an overview of what differentiates each color and how your brand can pick the right mix of them. Red evokes a passionate and amazing response. It is a color that increases your heart rate, makes your breath faster, and is generally associated with energy, excitement, and passion. It's one of the colors that is attention grabbing, while it can also be provocative and excitable.
So Katrina, we already talked about the fact that colors for your brand really represent your personality, your brand personality, right? Yeah. And I remember, it's probably been about 15 years ago, I went to a conference and I met a lady that is a brand specialist.
Okay.
And I'm going to venture to say she's the dopest in the business, right?
Got it.
So
okay.
She actually asked for my business card. There's a couple of us at the table, and she asked for each one of our business cards. And I handed it to her. And I was like, what is she doing? She picked up her phone. She looked at the card. And, you know, she kind of just took a peek at it. She called my number, and my phone rings. I'm like, why is she calling me?
Yeah.
But she was calling to kind of see if things match.
Gotcha.
Right. So at that time, you know, I always talk about this being an event planner. I was an event planner at that time. And what she wanted to see is if you're an event planner, does that personality ring true on your voicemail? Can I hear that? She looked at my colors and she asked me questions like, so why did you pick this color? And, you know, why did you do this? And why did you do this? I didn't even know who she was. I was thinking, who is this nosy lady at my table asking me all these questions?
And she's
right?
trying to dive in and understand your business.
And so I was like, I kind of slick got offended, but then I was like, can I get your card? And so when she gave me her card and I saw she was a brand specialist, I was like, oh. I was taken back, right?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so she did a workshop at this conference, and that's exactly what she talked about. Things needing to match. And those colors really matter. So I want to just kind of dissect. So the She EO Mindset, our logo is red, black, and white, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And I know in a previous episode, we kind of talked about those colors and what they represent. Yeah. So red, for me, represents boldness. It represents being assertive, energetic. The color code for red, though, says that it's aggressive. It is energetic.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely an energetic color.
It's provocative. It is attention grabbing. When you see somebody in red,
it grabs it. It does. People gravitate to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, remember when you were in school and you used to get a paper, you know, corrected and had red marks on it, you'd be like, oh, you know, like, oh my God, I gotta correct this, right? But it also represents being passionate about something. So I really like that because I think that encompasses everything that we do as She EOs. We're passionate, we're bold. We have to be aggressive.
And you have to be. And, you know, being a business owner, I mean, those are just some traits that either you have them in you or you learn to obtain those. Because it's very challenging to get up every day and go out in the world and say, this is who I am and this is who my organization is. And so you kind of have to have those traits. And if you don't have them, you will develop them. Because I had to develop them because that's so not me.
Right.
But I eventually realized there were some things about my personality I was going to have to be willing to change in order to continue to move forward in my business.
So black, you put me on blast last time. I was like, black? I don't even know. Let me think about it. But for me, black represented just being successful, right? Not being in the negative.
Not being in the negative. I always want to be in the black.
Right. You want to be in the black. You don't want to be in the red, so to speak. But black means prestige.
Absolutely.
It means value, timeliness.
Oh, yeah.
Timeliness?
Yeah.
And I was like, really? Sophistication and power.
Oh, okay. Those are some good words. I
like that. I was like, red and black. Yeah. So I'm bold and I'm powerful. All right, then. So I said white was my accent color. Because white is, you know, just truly was an accent color. It was just a color that I put with it. Yeah. But white always, you know, we know that it represents purity, you know. and innocence and, things of that nature. So white was just my accent color, but you always want to find something that kind of complements the two that represent your business the best, right? Mm-hmm. As a She EO, I think you need to be bold. You need to be aggressive.
Absolutely.
You have to be passionate about what you're doing. You have to understand the power that you have as a She EO.
Yeah.
So I think all of that comes into play. You have some very different colors. We're repping you today. We're repping you today with the yellow.
Yeah. Awakening Wellness is a little bit different. And as a matter of fact, my logo, if you look at it, is actually a lotus flower. And the reason I picked that is because a lotus flower is a very unique flower. It only grows where it's dark and wet. It doesn't grow, and it's not out in the sunlight. Like most flowers are out in the sunlight and they grow, but a lotus flower grows where it's deep and dark and where it's wet. But it's a very unique flower, and it only grows in that environment. And I think that's where women are. We're very unique, and a lot of us grow out of those dark places.
Woo,
and so that's why I picked the lotus flower for that.
Yes.
And the reason I picked the colors, the different variations of green and yellow, is because I believe as women we should be awakened and become the women that we've been called to be. And so in order to do that, you have to be whole. And so that's where the wellness piece comes in. So when I was looking at creating my company, I was like, what is it that I would like for my business to look like? And I thought about the time when I was when I was in a previous company and how unhappy I was and how I struggled. And it came to me, it's like, most women are walking around, we're alive, but we're not awakened to being the person we've been called to be. And so when you think about wellness, you think about wholeness, you see the greens, you see the yellows, the common blues. And so when I was sitting down with the person creating this, they were looking at me like, you want green and yellow? I'm like, yep. I said, because
I thought the green and yellow meant money and sunshine or something.
The green does mean I want clients that can pay me. I do want money.
Right.
But I also want people to understand is that in order for your business and your relationships, no matter what you're involved in, if you really want it to be successful, it all starts with you.
Absolutely.
You have to be willing to take the time to invest in yourself and be well so that you can be well in other areas, because you're more than just that entrepreneur. You are in relationships with your clients, with your family. You're probably involved in your community. So there are different things that you're involved in.
So here's the cool part for your colors, for green. The green, I said I thought it meant money. It does. It actually, green means wealth. So the color code for green is wealth, health, prestige, serenity, generosity, and safety. Imagine that.
And that's all. And
all the things
and all
that
of
we want to have.
All that is what we wanted to create.
So the yellow is positivity. It's light. You talked about the lotus flower growing in darkness and wetness and so on and so forth. So when we come back from the break, I want you to go a little bit deeper, talk about your logo, why you chose those colors, and we're going to explore and look at a few other colors that people use for their brand after this.
Wine? Because it's not good to keep things all bottled up. Enjoy the lifestyle of all things uncorked, especially when you're wine touring with Gates Uncorked. Gates Uncorked invites you to wind down and host your very own private in-home wine tasting with family and friends. Call 901-466-6703 to book today. Awaken Wellness Consulting mission is to aim, advocate, inform, and motivate individuals to engage in whole person wellness to address real-life challenges. Awaken Wellness Consulting strives to equip and empower individuals in the world to discover whole person wellness. Ready to change your life? Book a consultation at awakenwellnessconsulting.com. Make a statement without saying a word. Neckology 101 is a leading provider of eclectic and unique neck art in the form of jewelry. They provide an unparalleled selection of quality products, an easy shopping experience, expedited shipping offers, and exceptional customer service. Check out their collection online today. 1015 Take the Shot Studios offers photography, shooting real-time moments, creating lifetime memories, and videography, connecting the dots, linking the past, creating the tapestry of the future. 1015 Take the Shot Studios, a visual storyteller in Memphis. It's time to pop some flair into your style at Iona's Closet. Wonderful clothes and outstanding customer service. A wide selection of casual and consignment clothes for the woman of style at Iona's Closet in Memphis.
These 5 creative tips can help you choose a color palette that is relevant, memorable, and inspiring for your brand. 1. Know your focus. Brands with great color schemes didn't come across them by accident. 2. Think psychologically. 3. Don't be afraid to experiment. 4. Analyze your competition. And 5. Create a mood board.
So Nicole, prior to the break, we were breaking down our colors for our individual companies, and I just want to go back to the color yellow that I have in Awakening, because it does speak of light, positivity, motivation, clarity, creativity, and happiness. Because one of the things I truly believe is that we really want to make sure that we're bringing that positivity everywhere we go. And so that's why I have that color part of mine. And I just love seeing people's response when they see our logo. And that's another thing I think is important, is when people see your colors in their logo, what does it do? What response does it take? So I picked those colors because I just felt like that was a space that I didn't see a lot of. I didn't see a lot of positivity and wellness, because the most time when you hear talk about wellness, people always want to talk about counting calories, losing weight, and that's great to focus on the external. But what we do at Awakening, we focus on the internal. So it can show up on the outside.
And we need the light.
And we do need the light and need the positivity to do that.
Yeah,
because if it doesn't start here in the mind, it doesn't change in here, you won't see any change on the outside.
Absolutely.
And so another color I know we see a lot in the industry is purple.
Love purple. Love purple.
I know purple's one of your favorite colors.
I love purple.
Purple is one of those royal colors. It's one of those bold colors that you see a lot. It does stand for royalty, sophistication, nostalgia. It's for that. And then also, I did not realize purple was considered a mystery color. Didn't realize that. And then it's also...
I can kind of see that. I can kind of see it.
You can? Okay.
Just a little bit.
And I know it was associated with royalty and then also spirituality. And it doesn't go into different types of religion. It's just associated with those colors. And I've seen that because I work with faith-based organizations and nonprofits. And a lot of times when I go in those organizations, they have a lot of purple. They have a lot of purple. And so it's a good color that you can use, again, making sure it matches your personality and the branding of your business.
So ironically, blue, is a color, and I always think about blue, and I'm like, Yolanda Adams had a song. She said, I don't sing the blues because I don't have the blues. But I think about blue, and I'm like, I don't have the blues, so
But I see blue a lot with the hospitals. I see a lot of blue with healthcare, because I do work in healthcare and in banking too. A lot of companies have blue accents with their company. So, blue, for a long time, that was considered the color to go to in the business world.
So it means the color code for blue is actually being trustworthy and dependable, secure, responsible, and confident.
Okay, I can see that.
So I was like, so it don't mean you got the blues?
No, it doesn't.
So I kind of always shifted away from blue. I like blue. I love the color blue. And there's so many variations of blue, right?
Yeah.
Teal is another color that I absolutely love.
Oh, yeah.
Just because of, I talked about earlier, having turquoise and, teal.
Business.
Yeah, and in travel, to me, it just represents that beautiful water that we see.
Absolutely.
But there's so many variations of blue that you can actually go with.
Yeah.
But I was shocked to find out what the color code was for blue. So that would make sense that banks would have blue in their logo, right?
Yeah.
So it just goes to show that big companies, and I should have I wish I had brought this chart, but you can look it up. It's online. Yeah. There's a chart that'll show you all the brands based on colors, right? So you have companies like True Green and John Deere that have that green color, right? Yeah. And I imagine it represents, the earth, the grass, and things like that. But then you have companies like Bank of America that you have the red and the blue, right?
For the boldness
and this is where we bank.
And the trustworthy.
This is where I bank.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So you have the trustworthy and the blue and the red of the boldness.
Right. So go for it. It kind of tells me go for your goals and do your thing on that. But just interesting.
And First Tennessee has those colors too. And
they do.
But then on the flip side, Regions has the green and the white.
Right. So, money, wealth. They want you to, come in there and count the coins.
Count the coins.
# count coins. So orange is a color that I don't see very often, but we do know there's a lot of brands that actually use Sunkist.
Sunkist, yeah.
You know, I could probably name a couple other ones, but orange actually represents vitality, fun, it's playful, you know, so I think about like in the travel business, some companies that they're resorts that have orange in their logo. It makes sense to me now. It's outgoing.
Yeah,
right?
I know a couple companies, and most of them are in, again, because I work with healthcare a lot. There's a company called Noon. There's another company called Omni Health. Their color is orange. And then there's also a brand of fitness organization out in California that's called Physical Fit Therapy, and their color is orange. So,
which makes sense.
Yeah,
you know,
because you're out in California, you're out in the sun, you know, so their whole organization is around that orange
and then
color.
when you talk about wellness, vitality, you know.
Yeah. You see that on California.
It.
Yeah,
you know, we want it to be fun and playful. So yeah, I get that.
And I think when it boils back down to is making sure you set aside the time to really think about what do I want my colors to say about my company? What is my personality? What's the brand of my company? What do those colors say? Because again, we get so caught up on the tech side. And don't get me wrong, we love technology. But if you go ahead and do that groundwork, that will save you from investing your time and money and then turning around several years. Because I've seen that. We've seen what it has had to happen when you go back and you rebrand colors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
So I want people to understand that, like, you know, right now this might have been the color you started off with.
Absolutely.
You might have started off with a color because that was your favorite color. But then when you're talking about the particular industry that you're in or the business that you're doing, you might want to go back and when you're rebranding, revamp those colors. And it's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
When I did my logo for the She EO Mindset, a good friend of mine, she did my logo, and I told her, I was like, I don't want no little skinny girl, because I ain't no little skinny girl.
That's
I want a little girl with some hips.
Girl got some hips.
And I wanted her to have, you know, it to kind of be a silhouette of a businesswoman.
Yeah.
But I didn't want her to be, I wanted her to represent me.
Absolutely.
So you have to really kind of think about that. You know, what is it? What's the message you're trying to send? For me, the She EO mindset means to be bold.
Absolutely.
We want you to boldly walk in your brand. So I needed a logo that represented that, and I needed colors that represented that, because we want to be successful in our business, but we also want to be bold and aggressive and be able to go for the gold, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So we are going to come back and probably talk about colors a little bit more, because I think it's so much more that we can kind of share with our audience about the different colors that we have. One color I want to share about this real quick.
I know you're going to jump back.
Brown. I never would have thought, I never in a million years would have thought the color brown would be a logo color, right?
Yeah, that's not something I would have gravitated to, honestly. But I have seen brown. I have seen brown on a couple of, and again, I think it goes back to the accent colors. What do you add to it that will complement it?
But brown as a major color means it's earth-like, it's natural, it's comforting. And I was like, wow, I would have never thought about that. But think about a spa or, you know, something like that would have that. Yeah. So I think we could come back and talk about colors.
Yeah, we can definitely always
definitely
because I think branding is such a wide topic that we can always come back. And with you being the brandologist, you can always
we can talk about it. We can definitely talk about that. But as always, we want to remind our viewers to remember where you started, celebrate where you are, focus on where you're going, and always, 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 even when picking your colors, trust the process. We'll see you next week.
The She EO Mindset is brought to you by
Hill & Company 12 Event Design.